Okay. So advanced studies, what do you have, ma'am? What courses do you have?
MBA, ma'am, we have UG program BBA, MBA, PG program MBA General, MBA Logistics and Supply Chain Management, MBA Aviation and Airport Management. Then we have PhD program as well.
Ma'am, I will launch the YouTube live and we have just 1 minute left. We'll start on time. Ma'am, you can close the PPT right now and then open it once we launch it.
Shall I?
Yeah, yes,
Stop.
ma'am. Can close the PPT now. Yes, fine, ma'am. Fine.
Oscar sir, good evening.
Good evening, madam. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You can meet the speaker. Say hello to Dr. Sailaja.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening,
Hello.
sir. Good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Good,
How are you, madam?
good evening, sir.
I'm Dr. Bhaskar, faculty member in our MBA department, madam.
Great
Nice
to
to meet
see
you.
you.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you too, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so it is time. So I'm starting and Smiley be ready.
Yes.
Keep smiling. All of us will be visible to the participants. Yes, we are
Good
done.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is both privilege and honor to welcome you all to the final session of this enriching 6-day international online faculty development program, jointly organized by St. Peter's Institute of Higher Education and Research and Globethic South Asia. As we approach the conclusion of this insightful journey, we are thrilled to have with us today a distinguished speaker who embodies the perfect blend of academic excellence and professional expertise. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. K. Shailaja Rao, an accomplished academic dynamic trainer and an expert in the field of human resource management with over 2 decades of experience spanning both the education and corporate sectors. Dr. Shailaja Rao has established herself as a leading voice in academia and HR. Dr. Shailaja Rao holds a PhD in management from Krishna University, an MBA in human resource management, and an MA in English. Currently, she serves as the area chair HR at the School of Business, Aditya University, Surampalam, Kakinada, Andhra Pradesh, and also takes on the esteemed role of Dean of English and Soft Skills at Aditya Educational Institutions. Her area of expertise include emotional intelligence, business communication, and organizational behavior, making her a highly sought after motivational speaker, researcher, and faculty development resource person. Her research contributions are widely recognized with recent accolades such as the Best Paper Award at ICCCE 2024. Today, Dr. Shailaja Rao will be sharing her insights on the important topic of ethical leadership in academia, a crucial area in the evolving landscape of higher education. Her ability to combine theoretical knowledge with real world HR experience positions her as the perfect guide for us as we explore the intersection of research, ethics, and human values in academia. Dr. Shailaja, we are honored to have you with us today. We look forward to your enlightening session and to gaining valuable perspectives that will further enhance our academic practices. Over to you, ma'am. The virtual floor is yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a wonderful introduction, but I think I'll have to live up to it. I don't know how much of it I really deserve, but thank you. That was nice to hear. And a good evening to all of you, and good evening to all the participants. And I think we will start the session. It's wonderful to be back here with Globethics and sharing my thoughts and views on topics of ethical considerations is always a pleasure. So wonderful to be here. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Rajula ma'am, also.
You're welcome.
So shall I start, ma'am?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
ma'am, you
I'll
can
share
start presenting. Yes, yes.
Yeah, is that okay? Can everybody see it?
Yes, ma'am.
So, good evening once again. It's wonderful to be a resource person, but it's equally, gives me a lot of nerves because I have to speak in front of all esteemed faculty members and people who have achieved so much in the academic field and who are doing great things. So, but ethics is always a topic which is close to my heart, and especially as I'm in this higher education sector. So, ethics in higher education is something all of us need to talk about, and this is a good platform to do that. And I'll be talking about ethical leadership in academia, but I don't know how much I'm actually authorized or capable to do that, but I'll try and do as much as I can because I can't really I've not experienced that big high leadership positions, but I'm sure we are looking at great leaders and also great dilemmas in leadership, especially in when we look at it ethically. So let's get started, and welcome to you all. So what is ethical leadership in academia? So it means guiding institutions with a commitment to integrity, transparency, and fairness. That's all we are looking at for leadership now, right now. We want our leaders to be, have integrity, be transparent, and be fair. So actually, it's the leader who sets the tone for the institution's culture. Whenever we talk of any business companies, let it maybe Infosys or Google or Amazon, we look at the leaders, and the leaders actually set the tone for the institution's culture. They see that their behavior and their decisions reflect ethical principles like honesty, inclusivity, and respect. So ethics is being fair not only externally but also internally with the staff, the students, and with all the external stakeholders like the society and other people who are involved. So when we talk about ethical leadership, when I was Googling it, so the first name, the first point that came out was ethical leadership actually builds institutional reputation and trust. The great institutions like the CSIR, IISc, or, the Atomic Agency, the Indian Atomic Agency, all these have been built by great leaders. And when we talk about CISR, we talk about Dr. Raghunath Maslekar. He was the Director General of CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research in India. He emphasized strict adherence to research ethics, zero tolerance for plagiarism, and transparency in publishing by instituting clear ethical research guidelines and ensuring accountability. So CSIR not only avoided scandals that had, afflicted some of the global institutions, but it also strengthened its institutional reputation as a trusted research body. So it's great leaders like this who build the reputation and trust of the people by leading them in a great way. And similarly, when we talk, not in the Indian scene, when we go outside, look at the global scene, even universities like the Harvard University also had some problems when it came to ethical considerations. And, they took immediate corrective action when questions of integrity rose in certain research labs. They openly investigated and ensured accountability. The university safeguarded its credibility with stakeholders, proving that ethical leadership directly reinforces organizational trust and reputation. So, whenever any university or any big institution takes into it that, they have to protect the trust and the image of that institution. They have to take into consideration the ethical leadership that is there at that time. So ethical leadership promotes a healthy, productive academic environment. Even IISc Bangalore, all of you must have heard of it. Indian Institute of Science Bangalore is one very reputed organization where all the time ethical leadership has been at its best. So, what are the challenges that ethical leadership faces in academia? When it comes to academia, what are the challenges that most of these institutions face? One of the first and most common challenge is academic dishonesty and plagiarism, especially in research. So today, research is being research is wanted from every area. Even if you are a teacher, a professor, at whichever capacity, you are asked to do a lot of research. With so dishonesty in academic research has become the common problem, and plagiarism. I don't know if it is helping it or actually reducing the research honesty. Because of this, we have a lot of dishonesty and plagiarism in academic research. So what happens is, in 2001, in the vice chancellor of one of the vice chancellors in India faced public criticism after multiple cases of plagiarism was detected in PhD thesis under his name. Under his tenure, when he was serving as the vice chancellor, there were a lot of plagiarism cases that were detected, and the lack of ethical oversight damaged the credibility and of that university and raised questions on its academic standards. This case highlighted how ignoring plagiarism undermines institutional reputation. So there have been cases where plagiarism has brought, because of plagiarism, there has been the institution's image has been tinted or brought down. And then that is the reason why universities like the state universities and especially IIT Bombay, they have very strict plagiarism rules. That is, they have plagiarism detection software, clear academic integrity policies, and faculty leaders emphasize originality in research. They monitor students on ethical writing and enforce consequences for violation. So these are some of the things the other state universities also can do to reduce this. And one of the other challenges that leadership faces in academia is non-merit based recruitment. We all know that, jobs in state central universities are much sought after. And so several Indian universities face this problem where appointments were influenced by political connections and nepotism. This is a very sad state of affairs in some places, especially in India, where political connections and nepotism are sometimes given more importance than merit for academic work or academic merit. So such non-merit recruitment has led to unqualified faculty being placed in lead roles, and this erodes the trust and demoralizes genuinely talented scholars. This is where leadership this is a big challenge leaders in academic institutions face. But at the same time in India, there are institutes like the IIMs where they follow a transparent and merit-based selection procedure. So we have both, we have IIMs and IITs where the recruitment procedures are very transparent and they're only based on merit. They involve external experts, rigorous evaluation of research work, and they have international benchmarks when they select their faculty. So ethical leadership in these institutions ensures that only qualified candidates are appointed, and this builds the credibility. So today we look at the IITs and IIMs in such awe, not only, to teach, but even getting a seat there, and especially being a faculty there is considered to be an esteemed position. So this strengthens that institution's global reputation. Then the next challenge most academic leaders faces sexual harassment and discrimination. This is also something that, over the years, this has come to light that Delhi University and Tata's TIS, the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, have faced a lot of these cases, harassment cases, and they have brought these into light. And today, because of the leadership, they have established they've established departments like the Internal Complaints Committee at TIS, where committees they're not just symbolic committees, but they actively investigate complaints and conduct awareness workshops and support the victims. And there have been a case in TIS where the leadership has been removed from its position because of these cases. This creates a safer academic environment and also builds trust among the students and staff. So in 2013, there was this landmark Vishaka guidelines case where many Indian, where even the Delhi University was, reprimanded, and it also brought things under control. So this is another area where academic leadership have a challenge they have to face. And then, of course, financial misappropriation. So this is something that happens in a lot of universities. That is, where recruitments are done, or seats are given for financial benefits. In 2021, as recent as that, there were some universities from Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra. They were scrutinized for illegal recruitment and nepotism. And this resulted in high-level resignations and investigations. So this is one of the another challenge that is faced by academic leaders. And then we come to bureaucracy and lack of leadership training. This is one sad part, that leadership also is something that can be learned. It's not that people are born leaders. So some people can be trained to be good leaders. So this is one area where people around the world, especially in India, can look at providing training to the leadership, whoever going to be in the academic high leadership positions. There can be given training. The lack of this is a challenge. But saying that, we always have great ethical leaders that we can look up to in India and abroad. So what are the effective leadership traits that we want in our leaders? One of the first one is vision and inspiration. So leaders should motivate and influence others, building trust through personal integrity and clear values. So leaders are people who have personal integrity. That means they themselves should walk the talk. That is, they should have great integrity in their personal lives, which they can bring to their professional life as leaders. And the first person that comes to mind as a great leader in the academic field is none other than our Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishna. Recently we celebrated Teachers' Day on his birthday. September 5th is celebrated as Teachers' Day in India on Sarvepalli Radhakrishna sir's birthday. He was a philosopher and India's second president. He inspired generations of students and educators by emphasizing that education must combine knowledge with character. He was a man of great character. His vision helped shape the values of Indian higher education. And then we have a person very close to my heart, and I'm sure everybody's heart, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dr. Kalam was first a teacher, always a teacher. He passed away, or he died, teaching people, giving a lecture. So that is a great lesson for all of us there, right there. He was a visiting professor even after he became the president of India. He inspired students, and his vision for India 2020 encouraged research that connected academic learning with national development goals. His leadership style motivated young scholars to think big and to innovate. So he was a great leader. And then we have more. We have Professor C.N. Rao from the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He built, he was a physics professor. He built India's strength in material science and nanotechnology. He inspired several research programs and international collaborations, positioning India prominently in the global science research. And then when we look further away, we have Professor Ruth Simmons from the University of, Ruth Simmons is from the University of Brown University. She's the first African woman president of the Ivy League institution. She championed diversity, inclusion, and academic excellence. Her leadership inspired students and faculty to embrace both equity and innovation. And then we have Dr. Clark Kerr. He is from the University of California. His vision of a multi-campus university system in the 1960s, as early as the 1960s, he was a role model for transforming the University of California into one of India's most, or the world's most respected public university systems, inspiring a model for access and excellence. So these are, leaders of integrity and vision. And the next thing we want in our leaders is transparency. We have many more leaders in India. We have M.S. Swaminathan, who is the father of the Green Revolution in India. He was the first one who inspired academia to connect scientific research with societal needs. He saved billions of people from hunger. So Dr. Swaminathan is one other name from India. So there have been many visionary leaders in India and abroad. So their legacy lies in shaping institutions in individuals to carry the vision forward. So transparency, this is, we have to be, that is, the leaders have to be clear about decision making and open feedback. For example, as at Ashoka University in India, when there was student unrest over faculty resignations in 2020-21, the leadership held town hall meetings where students and faculty, they raised concerns directly and the management were able to openly explain the decision-making process, inviting feedback. And, this transparency, though it faced criticism, it helped in rebuilding dialogue and prevented further erosion of trust. It brought a sort of normalcy because there was open dialogue and there was transparency from the leadership. And the same thing happened in UCL, that is University College of London. It had, it had some publishing. They have this concept of policy of publishing minutes of important academic board meetings and decisions online, so that everybody can see them, why these decisions were taken. This transparency, this practice ensures that staff and students understand how and why decisions are made, and at the same time giving them a channel for feedback. And the next thing, what actually, this transparency does is, when you take decisions behind closed doors, it may not create a trust, but having openness and inviting feedback builds trust, reduces misinformation, And it builds a culture of shared responsibility and then accountability. So establish mechanisms for reporting and correcting unethical behavior. Here we have examples from the Banaras Hindu University. After reported concerns about harassment and misuse of authority, the leadership strengthened its internal complaints committee, the ICC, and it formed grievance redressal cells for students and staff, and this allowed individuals to report unethical behavior, confidentiality, and take corrective actions against offenders. So this also, step reinforced accountability that unethical conduct will not be tolerated. So this is a message you give out when the leadership takes accountability for, into account. So similar things happen at MIT when Massachusetts Institute of Technology, they failed to disclose funding resources. There was a big mayhem. And then the senior faculty, when they failed to disclose, in response, what they did was the MIT established stricter compliance rules and disclosure mechanisms. And publicly, they said, we will hold transparent reporting. So this, reinforced that institutional accountability should be there for, and then this reassured all the stakeholders. So these are all challenges which, and it's not that, this is happening, something is happening for the first time. These problems were there, and will be there in the future. So you just have to take into account how to, work around these challenges. And then inclusivity. This is something our leadership should always think about, that is promote diversity and fairness throughout the institution. So how do you do that? How did the leadership in the past do that? So JNU, as we all know, we have JNU is a very big university in Delhi, and historically it has students from all over India, from diverse socioeconomical backgrounds, regional backgrounds, linguistic backgrounds, through a fair admission process and policies, and it has a reservation policy also. So this has made JNU the most inclusive university, and there are socially diverse campuses in the university. They're fostering dialogues across different cultures and perspectives, and because of this, there have been many problems also. But kudos to the leadership at JNU; they have been able to overcome all those problems because of their transparency. And similarly, University of Cambridge, it has a very inclusivity program. That is, it has targeted scholarship programs, outreach initiatives, and they admit more students from underprivileged and underrepresented backgrounds. So by promoting diversity and ensuring fair opportunities, Cambridge leadership worked to break the stereotype of the institution that only the elite can join the University of Cambridge, and it created a more academically inclusive environment. So today, ethical leaders in academia don't just talk about inclusivity, they design policies, scholarships, and recruitment practices that ensure diversity and fairness within the institution as well. So what are the solutions and best practices that can be, looked at? So the first one is, as I said earlier, is the IIM Bangalore. On most IIMs actually in India, IIM Bangalore, where the faculty recruitment admission process are conducted with published criteria. They tell you exactly how many points each, person is, is allotted, so that when you go for an interview or when you come out of an interview, you know exactly why you were selected or why you were not selected. So they have this published criteria, ensuring that every candidate or every stakeholder understands how decisions are made. This transparency actually strengthens the institution's credibility. Similarly, when you go outside India, this happens, even in the university, grants commission in recent years, it has made accreditation policies public on its website. So to reduce, practices of suspicion or, favoritism. So even UGC is working on that to reduce practices of favoritism and things like that. And then we have the Australian National University, ANU. It has open budgeting practices where major spending and funding priorities are communicated directly to faculty and students. This prevents misinformation and builds trust. So see how some of the universities have these good solutions and they follow these best practices. So what happens then is that transparency in academia means decision-making process is visible, understandable, also allowing room for dialogue and feedback. So it is essential for building international credibility and trust. So apart from having, redressing cells or harassment policies and, cells for complaints, strong policies for reporting misconduct also should be there. This is a challenge where for most leaders where, these strong policies need to be put into place. For example, in IISc Bangalore, they have a strict policy on research ethics and plagiarism, where there's an ethics committee and software-based plagiarism checks are conducted so that students and faculty can report research misconduct through formal channels, ensuring academic integrity. That is, so actually this has become a lot easier now where there is an AI tool which can help detect plagiarism. And so AI works both ways. It helps in creating plagiarism and it helps in detecting plagiarism as well. So the leadership has to be very, very careful in dealing with this. And especially also abroad, going out globally, the University of Oxford, UK, has a speak up policy that encourages staff and students to report misconduct without fear of retaliation. That is, anonymous reporting is allowed. So this is one thing which leaders can take into account, accepting anonymous reporting, or like you can call it the whistleblowing policy, where the whistleblower's name is not disclosed. So similarly, so this, wherever there is there is a policy which sends out a strong signal that misconduct, whether it's academic, financial, or personal, will be taken very seriously, ethical leadership can ensure that policies are not just documents, but living systems that protect individuals and the institution's credibility. So this is an area where leadership can take this challenge on and work on this. And as I said before, leadership training and mentoring for academic heads. This is an area which can be really given a lot of importance, especially in the higher education sector, training and mentoring for academic heads. So, in 2000, Leadership for Academicians program, LEAP, was started by UGC, and MHRD in 2018 to train potential academic leaders like professors, deans, heads in management, in governance, in financial administration for academic leadership. And this also includes international exposure at partner universities like Cambridge, Harvard, NTU, and Singapore. So this actually has helped prepare future vice chancellors and directors with professional leadership skills. This is an area which is also can be, increased and more initiatives taken. So now, what are the key steps that can be taken? So, because we know that ethical leadership in academia is critical because they create or they shape future citizens, the professionals, the future leaders are made from these universities. So when academic leaders act ethically, that they set a strong example for faculty, for staff, students, creating trust, fairness, and responsibility. So this is one area where everybody, the leaders can work on this. So visionary leaders are not only, they not only set long-term goals, but they also inspire students to work towards these goals. Their legacy lies in shaping institutions and individuals who carry this vision forward. So how can we do that? Establish clear ethical guidelines that develop and communicate a code ethics for academic leaders, faculty, and students. So what is ethically correct? To give everybody, or develop and communicate this guideline to everybody, whether it's the students, the faculty, and the leaders. So to ensure plagiarism, research misconduct, recruitments, promotion, and funding. These are the main things that trouble bigger institutions or institutions of higher education. So all this develop correct policies and communicate these policies to all the stakeholders. And lead by example. This is one important thing that all of us have to look at, is lead by example. That is, whether it is deans, vice chancellors, HODs, making recruitment, funding allocation, and evaluation, very transparent. Be consistent. That is, what applies to student should apply to faculty and administrators as well. Strengthen academic integrity. That is, enforce anti-plagiarism policies, encourage originality in research, provide training on responsible research. We ask students to do research. We ask the faculty who have joined recently to do research, but we don't show them how to do responsible research practices. Like, in this platform itself, the other day there was a ethics in research. That was a very nice session where there was a session on how to do responsible research, how to do research ethically. So these kind of training programs should be held in higher education institutions, so that everybody knows how research can be carried out responsibility, with data integrity, following citations, and having clear, plagiarism guidelines. Also, encourage ethical teaching and mentorship. They should be, faculty should be trained to avoid exploitation. Do not overburden the students, or do not take undue credit for their work. Also, student-centered mentorship with respect, fairness, and encouragement should be there. Create a safe and respectful workplace. So this is another, we've been talking about this from the beginning. Strong policies against harassment, bullying, and discrimination. So we should have clear and confidential redressal mechanisms. This is another important area we can talk about. So we already spoke about this. Protect whistleblowers who expose unethical practices, encourage anonymous reporting, and ensure follow-up without retaliation. Integrate ethics into the curriculum. This is one thing which leadership can do at higher education centers. Integrate ethics into the curriculum. So teach ethics as part of all disciplines, whether it's not only in philosophy or management, in engineering, in medical science, in law, everywhere. Ethics should be part of, there should be a part of ethics in the curriculum, so that the students, earlier it was done at home, but now with everybody being very busy, it's no longer being in ethics. Ethics and values are no longer imparted at home. So it has become the responsibility of, the teachers and the professors. So this can be done only if it is incorporated into the curriculum. So they can, case studies of ethical dilemmas can be given to the students, and, to prepare students on what is right and what is wrong. So the, management colleges, this happens, case studies on research fraud, nepotism, misuse of funds, and ethical consideration, ethical dilemmas are given as case studies to the students, but this can happen in other fields as well. And encourage global best practices, that is, ethics workshop, training, exchange programs with international universities. So benchmark with global standards like UNESCO guidelines. Today we have these SDG goals, international academic codes. All these should be imparted or given to the students, collaborating with them and creating ethical base for students to work on. So let's come to the next important thing is, can we have ethics in AI? Can AI also help in ethical leadership? So I was interested in this because today all of us are using AI to a large extent, whether it's in our teaching, learning, research. So can ethical leadership can AI support ethical leadership? This was my query. So looks like it can to a large extent, like promoting academic integrity. AI-powered plagiarism tools are there now. You turn it in, authenticate. These ensure fairness in research assignments, and so these are, this academic integrity. Indian universities have a lot of these cases where, nowadays it has become very difficult for um, the universities, because there are exam cheating exacerbated during shift to online learning, instead of student collaborating to cheat online exams. All this is it has become very difficult to enforce integrity in the virtual settings. So and as now today there is a rapid increase in the digital platforms in higher education. This also creates a concern about safeguarding the ethics and enhancing transparency. AI can analyze patterns in admissions, grading, promotions, funding allocations to check for bias and favoritism. So this is another way which AI can help in checking whether there's a pattern in the admission process, which is there is a bias, or there is a misappropriation of funds. All this AI can help in checking that, and also enabling inclusivity. So AI-driven platforms can personalize education for students with diverse needs like language, disability, or learning pace. So AI today can actually help in all these areas. I'm sure all of you know that even in NPTEL, on online courses, there is a space where you can change the language, and people with disabilities or who cannot keep up with the pace, they can learn at their own pace. AI has enabled this even in the higher education sector. And supporting evidence-based leadership. AI helps leaders analyze large data sets, whether it's student performance, faculty research, institutional rankings, ethically and objectively. So the leaders can make decisions after analyzing these data sets ethically and objectively. So AI can help leaders do this. Similarly, strengthening governance. AI chatbots and grievance portals, anonymous reporting can be done, harassment, discrimination, unethical practices. AI chatbots can, and AI grievance portals can ensure this. Similarly, on automated monitoring systems can flag irregularities in financial management or resource allocation. Irregularities, I'm sorry. So or having said all that, that AI can help you do this, do that, there is a need for leadership to see how far they can depend on AI. They have to adopt AI responsibility. It should be a supportive tool, not as a replacement for human judgment. Because all said and done, AI also can have, biases because it only knows what it is taught. So there could be biases even in AI. So this has to be used carefully, and you should ensure transparency. You should be able to explain how these AI decisions were made, and also continuously audit AI systems for biases. As I said, there could be an inbuilt bias because AI does not understand the human element. So there is chances of bias. Build trust. So when you build this AI policies, engage faculty and students, and then finally educate them. Train faculty, staff, and students in ethics and digital literacy. So all this will help the students to understand how AI can help them. AI could be a boon. It could be also be a curse. So we have to be very careful in how we use AI. So actually, the boom in private institution globally has resulted in great ethical considerations, like about fast track degrees, inadequate faculty credentials, and lack of deep ethical foundation. So AI can actually help in these, and for corruption. Stanford University actually, reported issues with AI plagiarism detection tools. So because, AI cannot differentiate between non-native speakers of English and native speakers of English. So it cannot, so it gives the same, marks to both of them, which is probably not the right thing to do. So this is where leadership should intervene. In spite of having AI, there should be that human element for deciding what is right and what is wrong. And today, the curriculum and everything is changing rapidly. It's a little outdated, especially in India, and lack of industry collaboration, this is not unique only to India, all over the world. The challenge is that the relevance and employability of the graduates worldwide, not only in our Indian companies. They say that, so these ethical considerations should be taken into account. So you should create ethical champions to model expected behaviors and effect cultural change within the institutions. So this is an important area we have to look into. So leaders face many academic dilemmas, ethical dilemmas. One of the important things is academic integrity. So after COVID-19, a lot of exams and, education has been turned into online learning, shifted to online learning. But then there's the case of examination cheating happening during these online tests. So these Indian universities face a lot of issues regarding this. And then data privacy in edtech companies, adoption of the digital platforms in higher educations. It raises concern about how much of the privacy of the student and the staff is kept private. This is an important thing when it comes to ethical, considerations. Another very important thing that most of us overlook is the mental health confidentiality. So from one of the case studies, from Manipal University, the mental health and well-being of students and staff, it is the concern and responsibility of the leadership. So to support mental health and well-being staff, raising, today we have the rising rates of stress, anxiety, and other concerns, balancing confidentiality with duty. So all these things demonstrate that, leadership at the higher level has a lot of dilemmas they have to take out. So mental health confidentiality is also one of the important aspects, and ethical compliance. An empirical study from Assam found varying levels of compliance among students. So this is also an important thing that leadership should be looking into, one of the dilemmas for leadership in higher education institutions. And resource allocations. As we all know that in educational institutions, especially in higher education institutions, there's a persistent shortage in faculty, infrastructure, facilities. So this actually forces difficult decisions regarding quality versus access. And resources are stretched and they take the risk of compromised standards. And another dilemma is automation and staff attrition. Increased automation and use of digital services have led to staff attrition rates, raising concerns about job security and fair treatment. So, use of artificial intelligence. Globally, universities are at a crossroads. What are the implications of AI in assessments? Today, we know that, even recruitment also, AI, the assessment of the resumes is done by AI. But how far is it legally correct or ethically correct? So these are things that we have to grapple with and try to understand. Countries around the world are facing challenges with corruption and in university governance. So these are all the dilemmas that ethical leadership at the higher levels have to look into. Privatization is another thing, because with the boom in these private institutions all over the world, it has raised many ethical questions. It's not only in India. Today, we know that many American universities are also, doing a lot of fraud, and it's a very sad state of affairs when about 2 years ago, some of the universities were closed down and students were sent back without a degree, without having lost all their money. So these are cases, for ethical considerations. And digital equity. So especially during COVID-19, there's a stark difference in the learning opportunities for students, because if you only people who had technological access could continue their studies or could do something productive with their times. So this affected a lot of these marginalized populations were there, even in India, where they had no access to any type of education systems. And curriculum relevance and employability. Today, as I already spoke, there's a lack of industry collaboration, and this affects not only students and institutions in India, but worldwide. We already spoke about mental health and well-being. So, I would like to say that ethical leadership is a cornerstone of a thriving academic institution. Guiding is not only in making the right decisions, but in building a culture of mutual respect, trust, and accountability. Ethical leaders lead by example, fostering trust and transparency within their organizations while prioritizing the well-being of the people and the broader community. They create inclusive environments built on mutual respect, encourage open communication, and create inclusive environments. They hold themselves responsible and others accountable for ethical conduct. Ethical conduct or ethical leadership involves empathy, social responsibility, and zero tolerance for ethical violations. Consistently acting based on strong personal and organizational values. These principles help build ethical cultures and drive long-term success and positive impact. So let us all embrace this responsibility with courage and conviction, continuously striving to lead by example, inspire ethical action, and create an environment where every member can flourish. As we are all leaders in some aspect or the other. If we are teachers, we are leading a bunch of students. So if we are, professors in the higher education sector, there are so many new faculty or students who are following you. And as leaders and people of responsible positions, we can all together, we can ensure that our institutions remain beacons of knowledge, wisdom, and ethical excellence for generations to come. Thank you.
Really, ma'am?
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, if you have any questions, ma'am, already we have a question and a section. Can AI make ethical decisions? How do academic leaders balance competing interests, research funding, teaching with ethical principles?
Is it in the chat, ma'am?
Yeah,
Q&A.
it's in the question and Q&A box.
Ma'am, could you please close your screen? You can stop sharing.
Ma'am,
Okay, yeah, 1 second. Yeah, I just look at the chat. I just to go through the question again, if you can, please.
can I read it for you? It's in Q&A box, ma'am.
Cannot see the question, ma'am.
There is an icon Q&A. Next to share button, you see Q&A button is there. Next to share, there is Q&A. At the bottom.
Okay. How do academic leaders balance competing interests, research funding, teaching with ethical principles? That's the question, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, that's the question.
Yeah. Well, as academic leaders, if you have, as I mentioned earlier, written down policies, which have been open policies, which are communicated to the research group, that this is the research policies which we accept. This is what is ethically right. This is what we are going to, this is how it is going to be accepted or not. So that communication helps in the research platform to understand why it has been accepted or rejected or whatever. And funding policies, generally private institutions, it's tough, but in some countries it's very open, because they are supposed to disclose where their funds are coming from, so they're not coming from a place where we have conflicting interests. And these are some of the areas which the leadership can take into account. And so ethics is something we can base, the basics of ethics should be there. And then going on from there, these things can happen. They take time. There are many heads of institutions who are corrected. Can we change the mind of students by giving ethical knowledge, but not possible to change the mind of aged one? So how can we change their mind? So as I was saying, everything is not black or white. There is always a middle line. There are always great teachers and there are always bad teachers. So we should take our inspiration and our things from the great teachers that, in recent times also, like Abdul Kalam was very recently a great teacher. So we don't have to go back only up to Sarvepalli Radhakrishna. Similarly, there are great teachers in many institutions, Indian as well as, abroad. So we should make them our examples. And so maybe experience will teach them that in the long run, what is ethical only will survive, and unethical will always, be looked down upon. So we cannot change somebody. We cannot force someone to change. We can only change ourselves. So first is we should try to be ethical in all aspects. People close to us, we can help them do things ethically. And that's the only way. We cannot change someone. We have to change starts from within. That's what Gandhiji said. So change yourself and automatically everything else will change. So probably that is the motto we have to adapt and, work on that.
Another question. In reality, does AI maintain academic integrity?
Yeah. Does AI maintain an academic integrity? Yes. Can AI make ethical integrity or can AI make ethical decisions? AI can only give you the outcome, the output. Making the decision is your job. So that is where the leader comes in. The AI will tell you whether this has been taken from, copied from somewhere, this has been, plagiarized from somewhere, how much of content is plagiarized. This AI will give you that information. Making that decision based on that information is your job. But looking at how that information, how much data that has been fed into the AI is correct, is again the responsibility of that person who's making that decision. So that's why we said, AI it has its own built-in, flaws, like, bias. And so it cannot make those decisions. It can give you the output. So decision making again is left to the leaders.
Thank you, ma'am. What is the impact of AI in research? This question is from Dr. Sanjay Kumar.
Oh, AI has a very big impact on research today, especially, it has, research has become, all the more easier, I can say, at the same time, all the more difficult, because today you have at the tips of your fingertips, you have tips of your fingers, you have so much information available to you. Whichever area you pick, you can easily do a literature review. You can easily, go through so many papers. Earlier, when we did our research, we had to go to libraries and find things and do all that. So maybe Google helped us a little, but today AI can really help you in every which way. It can even do your, interpreting and all that. But having said all that, AI can, it's easy to copy, but then easy to get caught also. So it's a double-edged sword. You should know how, you can do all your literature review, all that through AI. But when it comes to the actual survey, the actual, findings and interpretation, that you should do it on your own. So you should not let AI take over completely. AI can be a great slave, but it should not become a master. Then, it will be very good for you, because it can help you do a lot of research, but do not depend completely on AI. Then your research is not really research.
Any other questions from participants?
Yeah, AI policy by Government of India is coming very soon.
Coming, yes.
Especially in research, it's going to come very soon. Already it's there. And, today, when if you want to publish a paper in the Scopus indexed, publishing, so it has become very difficult, because they know how much of it is being AI generated and how much is, so they are slowly tightening the screws, because today there's a lot of plagiarism. It has become very easy, but good that this is happening. So these policies will have this policy will actually help everybody understand how far AI can be used. Limitations of AI in learning. It has a lot of possibilities, at the same time limitations, like I was saying, that the information or the data can be AI generated, but the authenticity, depends on how much of the data that AI has taken is really authentic. So it depends on the prompts you're giving also. If you just ask for data, AI can generate even from Wikipedia. And we all know that all that is on Wikipedia is not right, actually. So anybody can post, generate content on Wikipedia. So AI can give you that feed also. So that is where we have to be very careful on to base all your learning on AI. So depending on what the prompts you are giving, how much you are relying on AI. So becomes a thing that you have to be very careful. You have to learn a lot about AI before you start using AI.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful reply. Any other questions? Limitations of AI in learning.
There's a question in chat also. We have
It's in
observed
the
that,
chat, ma'am.
yeah,
Chat also. Okay.
we have observed that most universities are
Biggest
politicized.
cons of use of AI in academics.
There is one question by Dr. Faraz Ahmad. We have observed that most universities are politicized and leading by political engaged people. In this situation, how we can expect ethical leadership from such universities? Ma'am, only if you want, you can answer. Otherwise, you can type the message for that particular question. Yes, and a lot of compliments for you, ma'am.
Most universities are politicized and leading by political linkage people. So how can we expect ethical leadership from such universities? It is a little tough in India, especially because politics plays a big role in, even selecting vice chancellors and all that. So, but slowly, with the proper leadership at the helm today, our leadership is fairly good. So things are changing. And now with AI tools and digital transparency, it's very difficult to, hide something. So probably slowly that change will come where everything will become more open. And people, of course, are the best. They'll ask for transparency and openness. Educated people, if it starts from within, like I said, slowly this is going to improve, hopefully. Yeah, teachers, how can teachers influence students to AI? Use AI tools in a better way, in an ethical way. Yeah, we are the first teachers for our students, so we should let them know that just copying and pasting using an AI tool is not the right thing to do. Learning from that is good, but then learning only from AI tools may or may not be right. Or AI may not always be correct. Whenever you go into chat GPT at the end, somewhere there's a line saying that this may or may not be right. So you should be very careful when you're using AI tools, and they should learn how to use it properly. Any digital technology should be used with responsibility, so that is something you have to tell your students.
Another question in Q&A, ma'am. Can plagiarism detect AI-generated articles, theses, or papers?
Yes, of course. Of course. They will tell you plagiarism. They can exactly tell you how much of it is plagiarized, the percentage. They can tell you, AI can tell you how much, which paragraph is plagiarized, where it is taken from. Exactly. So that is the, beauty of AI, that it tell you exactly where, which has been copied, where it has been copied from. And when you theses, of course, it'll give you the percentage levels also. So in a way, that's very good. So the plagiarism earlier, it was very difficult to detect plagiarism. Now it's become very easy to detect plagiarism. There are so many AI tools to detect plagiarism, and you even if you can get around one, you cannot get around the some of the very intensive AI tools for plagiarism. So of course it can detect. AI generated articles can be detected very easily. These are a little expensive tools, but they are available. Institutions have them. I think most institutions have them.
Any other questions from participants? Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. On behalf of the organizers and participants, I would like to extend our sincere thanks to Dr. Shailaja Rao for your insightful and engaging session on ethical leadership in academia. Your presentation effectively highlighted the core challenges to ethical leadership, the traits of effective ethical leaders, as well as practical solutions and best practices. Your discussion on AI and ethics, particularly how ethical leaders should approach and utilize AI responsibly, was both timely and thought provoking. We deeply appreciate the depth of knowledge and real world perspectives you brought to the session. Your contribution has certainly enriched our understanding and sparkled meaningful conversation that we hope to continue. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you once again for sharing your expertise and time with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
With that, we now move towards the final part of our program, the valedictory session. It is my pleasure and honor to welcome our esteemed registrar, Dr. L. Magesh Kumar, to deliver the valedictory address for this 6-day International Online Faculty Development Program on Ethics in Higher Education. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope you can listen. You can hear me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Right. So I'm very happy to be with all of you on this occasion of your valedictory session as you close down your 6-day online faculty development program that you've been organizing about ethics in higher education. As far as ethics is concerned, I don't think I'll have to talk again about ethics because you have been listening to various people over the last 6 days. And in my opinion, ethics is what we are taught when we are born itself. From the time we are kids, our parents, our LKG, UKG, wherever you go, whatever. I remember studying moral science in school. All these, they are inculcating ethics in our value system, which in turn, as you grow older in your school education, in higher education, so we are now discussing mainly about ethics in higher education. See, it all boils down to an individual. How much ever we talk about ethics, how much ever we make people understand, we bring in rules for everyone to follow, it's finally the individual who has to understand what ethics is and follow it sincerely. Because I have been involved with so many features. What I mean is various aspects of life, ethics in higher education, ethics in art form, ethics in cinema. I have had the opportunity of having my varied knowledge being put to test in various fields I've been associated with. And I have noted that in all these aspects, if you are not ethical, plagiarism will be there. It's not just copying and presenting it. When we talk about research, we always talk about plagiarism, software, how we can. Why should we go into all this? Don't we understand the basics? Don't we understand that we have to follow some basic norms? Simple thing. I just want the participants to understand and just pass it on. I keep talking about this with all students, even during their class sessions also. Where is the ethics when we see a student, when we see any person on the road driving a motorcycle, going through a traffic light with a child who is just 4 years old sitting on the bike? You just go through a traffic signal. That's the age when you are teaching them that it is not wrong to go through a traffic signal. Small things. These are things which we have to be inculcating in people. That's why I said it's very important that we catch everyone at a very, very young age, ensure that we learn and we live by what are the right principles. If we bring that concept into every student, everyone learns that, whether it's a student, teacher, whoever it is, even me, I should be able to tell my grandchildren what is right and what is wrong, my children what is right and what is wrong. That's what is very important. Then once we tell them, automatically then as they grow older, they understand what are the levels. Now, yeah, I was privy to the conversations that were happening before about artificial intelligence and how it will help us in ethics. All this, fine. I can make a big observation. I've seen, it's a wonderful lecture that I heard till now, and I can relate to every single point. As an academic leadership, it happens in every phase. There are ethical questions surrounding us, but we have to be very firm, we have to be very strong, must understand what our life is, where we are, and then automatically I'm sure that all of us will be able to ensure that ethics in all fields are there. Coming back to the conference, coming back to the online international conference that you have organized, I'm very, very happy. Not a conference, sorry, faculty development program. I'm very happy that I've been participating. I've been listening to many of these events, even though I was not present on all the days. I've been going through them in the YouTube and been understanding what are all the various ethics that we have to think in terms of higher education, digital ethics, technology, so many things, ethics in our research and innovation, as we were talking, artificial intelligence. I want all the participants to just understand that what we have learned is very important as we grow old, to be able to inculcate and incorporate that in our lifestyle, which will definitely help in improving ethics in general and our standards, particularly in the higher education fora. With these few words, I would like to felicitate the Department of Management for organizing this wonderful 6-day international online FDP. And I hope that you will be able to organize many more. And I'm really happy with the deliberations that have taken place over the past 6 days. And I would like you to bring in a small note about the various lectures that have taken place and what are the most important salient features of that, so that we can pass it on to the people who have not attended that and put it in our website or something, so that many people will be aware of what's happening and will be able to inculcate the same. Thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of this valedictory session. I wish the organizers the very best and all the participants very, very best. May God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring and thoughtful valedictory address. We are truly grateful for your presence and words of encouragement. As we come to the close of this enriching journey, we would now like to hear from our participants. I could see in the chat that you are giving good feedback for us. So if anybody is interested to give a feedback, you can raise your hand so that we can unmute you. So one feedback from the national participant and one feedback from an international participant.
I think you can ask anyone, a couple of people to directly talk. You can name them and ask them to talk. It's just what you feel about what you have learned over the last 6 days, what you have not learned, what you have listened over the last 6 days. And
Participant from Republic of Congo. Can you give us Ulim Wengu? Can you give us feedback?
They have been posting messages.
Rajula ma'am, one person has raised the hand.
Okay, I'll just, what is the name? I'll just try to promote as a panelist. Yeah, I'll just find out. Yes, Vijay Lakshmi. I'll just.
Vijay
have
Lakshmi
raised-
ma'am, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, if they accept the invitation, they can be part of the panel and talk. 2 of them raised hands, so I've promoted them as a panelist. Otherwise, yeah. Vijay Lakshmi is here.
Have you promoted her to the panelist now?
Vijay Lakshmi is here.
Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, you can unmute. She is not in the panelist now.
Other person declined. Yeah, they are raising hands. Probably cannot write it. But they posted a lot of messages about
Yeah,
this.
they have texted a lot, so that I thought that they can give a live feedback also.
Yes, but they need time to come this side in case
Yes.
they're not ready.
Ulim Wengu, can you give feedback for us? Just unmute yourself.
No, he can't talk if he is not a panelist. I'll promote it. Let's see if he is accepting.
Yes.
Yes, Ulimangu will be joining. He accepted.
Thank you for the floor. As I wrote, it's a pleasure to participate in FDP organized by Globetics. It's my eighth FDP when I participate, which I participated. Thank you very much for the organizers. It is very, very important for my institution in Goma, Université Catholique La Sapienza. I am not a good English speaker. Sorry for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us from the Republic of Congo. So, any other participants? Okay. So thank you so much for sharing your feedback with us. I could see so many of you sharing your positive feedback with us. Thank you for engaging with us for the last 6 days. You have spent your time with us and participated very sincerely and eagerly. Thank you all for participating. Now I would like to invite Dr. Kannan, professor from the Department of Management, St. Peter's Institute of Higher Education and Research, to propose the final vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all, gathered in the virtual floor. I am privileged to propose vote of thanks at the culmination of this 6-day international FDP on ethics in higher education, organized by Department of Management, St. Peter's Institute of Higher Education and Research, Chennai, in collaboration with Global Ethics. Our profound thanks to our chairman, sir, vice chancellor, sir, registrar, sir, dean, sir, and HOD, Department of Management, for their greatest support and guidance for successful completion of this FDP. Our sincere thanks to Professor V. Rajula, South Asia Regional Manager, Globe Ethics in particularly, for providing us all the necessary support and cooperation for conducting this program. Our heartfelt thanks are due to all the resource persons of the program, Dr. John Mithula, who had beautifully described the genesis and basis of ethics in higher education. The second day, Dr. R.D. Goodwin, who emphasized on academic reticule and daring consequences of plagiarism. Third day, Dr. George, who had rightly brought out the equipoise between technology and ethics. In the fourth day, Dr. Danya, who had aptly highlighted the nexus between ethics and innovation with the practical demo of reference manager software like Mandley. In the fifth day, Dr. Ignatius, who had rightly thrown light on ethical governance and policy making at the apex level. And the today's section, Dr. K. Shailaja Rao, who underlined the need for ethical leadership in academic institutions.
I'll call you in 5 minutes, okay?
Taking care of the interest of all the stakeholders and fostering a culture of integrity, trust, and accountability with the institution. Last but not least, I extended my sincere thanks to all the participants from various institutions across the globe for their active participation, and my co-coordinator, Dr. Bhaskar, and all my colleagues also. Thanks a lot.
Thank you all. The feedback link is posted.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Shailaja. Thank you,
Thank you.
Dr.
Today, I think Dr. Goodwin also has joined us in the validity session.
Okay,
I saw
that's-
him in the panelists. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dean, sir. Dr. Major M. Venkatramanan, he has also joined. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Registrar, sir, for all your support and guidance. Thank you, Regila, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm closing it. Bye.
Thank you all.